Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Dawn Patrol. It's Friday, 25 October. I'm joined by my co-host, Eileen Delrossi, who's phoning it in the first part of the morning. How are you, Eileen?
Good morning, everybody. I'm good. How are you doing this lovely Friday morning, Cliff?
I'm present for duty.
That good, huh?
Yeah. How did you find frost on your car?
Oh, I haven't laid it out yet.
Yeah.
I keep getting distracted.
But I thought the weather
I'm going.
today is cool but good, and it's going to be that way for the weekend. Well,
Good.
Sunday's going to have a high of 54, and that goes up a little bit next week. All that's good.
Oh, we just need fall. I'm ready for fall.
Yeah. Well,
Instantly.
I was thinking about it. I was out driving yesterday, and I looked up at the trees, and they were turning all sorts of nice colors, and I thought how it'd be great if I was an artist and could capture that, but I'm not an artist. And we have our producer, John McDonough. Hello, John.
Good morning, everybody.
Sometime between 2085 or 2086, this is the anniversary of the execution of Saints Crispin and Crispinian during the reign of Diocletian, now the patron saints of leather workers, curriers, and shoemakers. Which leads us to Shakespeare and the St. Crispin Day speech. Have you ever heard this, John?
No.
Well, it leads into the next item, which is the Battle of Agincourt in 1415. So,
The Battle of Agincourt?
yeah,
First I'm hearing of this.
this is a big French, yeah, but you know the residuals. This is a big armored French crowd. The armored French cavalry is defeated by the British with the long bow, which leads to the gesture that today is the extended middle finger. But in the Battle of Agincourt,
Shoot the bow, I got you.
you shoot the bow with two fingers. And the French were giving the British a hard time, shouting at them before the battle started, and the British pointing out they were going to use their long bow, which turned out to be technically superior. They used two fingers to pull it back, and so they held up their two fingers to the French. But anyway, there weren't that many Brits, and there's this, in Shakespeare has this little discussion, the king, who's been told, wouldn't it be better if we had more people? And he says no. And he says, in Crispian shall ne'er go by from this day to the ending of the world, but we in it shall be remembered. We few, we happy few, we band of brothers. For he today, what?
Talking on my phone.
Oh, but he today that sheds his blood with me shall be my brother, be he ne'er so vile, that day shall gentle his condition. And gentlemen in England, now abed, shall think themselves accursed that they were not here, and hold their manhood cheap. Well, and he speaks that fought with us upon St. Crispin Day. And that gets echoed by Winston Churchill after the Battle of Britain.
It was boring when he said it. It was boring when Winston Churchill repeated it. It's boring.
When
Yes,
Churchill talks about the
unequivocally boring.
fighter command, he refers to them as the few.
Ask Eileen, does she think it's boring?
Do you think it's boring, Eileen?
I lost track when you were talking about Dionysus. So, but I did hear about extending the middle finger. I thought that was pretty interesting. I get that.
Yeah.
But the whole picture it's a lot to take in there, Cliff. It's a lot to take in.
Well, there we go. Speaking of boring, the Battle of Balaclava takes place in 1854 during the Crimean War. It is soon memorialized in verse as the Charge of the Light Brigade. You've heard the Charge of the Light Brigade, right? Does this ring a bell? Half a league, half a league, half a league onward,
No.
all in the Valley of Death.
No, if you want to explain that.
Half a league. A league is a length. And they're charging into the Russian position, and it goes half a league, half a league, half a league onward, all in the Valley of Death rode the 600. Forward the Light Brigade, charged for the guns, he said. Into the Valley of Death rode the 600. So it goes, forward the Light Brigade, was there a man dismayed? Not though the soldiers knew. Someone had blundered. There is not to make reply, there's not to reason why. There's but to do and die. Into the Valley of Death rode the 600. Cannon to the right of them, cannon to the left of them, cannon in front of them, volleyed and thundered. Stormed at with shot and shell, boldly they rode and well, into the jaws of death, into the mouth of hell, rode the 600. I won't read the rest of that poem. In 1920, after a 74-day hunger strike in Brixton Prison in England, the Sinn Féin Lord Mayor of Cork, Terence McSweeney, died of not having enough to eat. He wasn't the only one that died that day, but there we were. So have you ever heard the Charge of the Light Brigade? Boring?
A tragic over-dramatization of a worthless war. Where were they lighting to? Who were they fighting, the Indians?
British against the Russians.
And at the end of the day, England still exists, Russia still exists, and a lot of broken-hearted mothers. What was the gain?
The cannons.
The cannons.
Yeah, the British eventually took the cannons and melted them down, and they're used to
Kill more people.
melted them down, and they're used to make the British highest valor medal, the Victoria Cross.
Celebrating a government that killed most of their friends. Goes happens even through today.
Killed most of their friends? What are you talking about?
Wars are worthless. There's no gain. What's the gain in a war?
The independence of the United States?
It ended up on a piece of paper, didn't it?
What do you mean it ended up on a piece of paper?
The agreement to let us be free ended up on a piece of paper, didn't it?
Yeah? What's your point?
After killing a lot of loving mothers' children.
Uh-huh. And if they hadn't done that, would it have still have ended up on the piece of paper?
I believe we should have had George Washington and King George mount their best horses, duel it out, give them swords, beautiful silver chrome swords, and let them duel it out, and the winner is the conqueror. Why do so many people have to die? Just have whoever the president might be, Joe Biden, Donald Trump, Kamala Harris, whoever the president is, a beautiful steed. Give them a beautiful steed, a beautiful sword, and let them go up against, what's the guy? Putin. No, not Joe Putin.
Vladimir.
Thank you. Vladimir Putin. Save a lot of money. We don't need all those jets. Don't need all those boats. Don't need all those tanks. Let the victor win. Your lifestyle's not going to change. It's not going to happen that way, but
Actually,
it's a lot more practical.
actually, our lifestyle did change after the American Revolution.
Because we got electricity. That's why our lifestyle changed.
Yeah. In 1940.
I know I'm an odd fellow, but I don't like war.
Okay.
I think what they should do is show the ruins of Gaza more often. This is what war is. This is what it does to your house, to your mother's house, to your children's house. This is what war does.
And who are you blaming for those destroyed houses?
The government's in charge, Israel, the political party Hamas. Let the Israelis are celebrating that they killed, maybe not celebrating, but they're at least boasting that they killed the leader of Hamas, the three musketeers who ran like Hamas. They boasting that they killed them. Well, why didn't they just have horses and let Netanyahu fight with them, and whoever wins, wins. End of war. Why don't the leaders go out and do it?
Because there's a thing called guerrillas. And if your side, your leader loses and you don't like the outcome, then you conduct a guerrilla war.
That's what we're going to see for the next 4 years, no matter what happens. Not my president. Persist, resist. Remember all those stickers?
No.
Persist, resist. You don't remember those bumper stickers?
No.
Short memory. Okay.
Sign of old age.
All right.
1940, Benjamin O. Davis Sr. is named the first African-American general in the United States Army. I later served, not directly, I was a ways down, under his son, Benjamin O. Davis Jr. when I was in Thailand, and his headquarters were at Clark Air Base in the Philippines. In 1944, World War II, the final attempt of the Imperial Japanese Navy to win the war climaxed in the Battle of Leyte Gulf in the Philippines. Last year, 2023, a mass shooting at two locations in Lewiston, Maine, left 18 people killed and 13 injured. In 1881, Pablo Picasso, Spanish painter and sculptor, was born. Remember Pablo Picasso?
Oh, yeah. He's a painter.
Yeah. 1944, James Carville, Corporal Cue Ball, was born.
Corporal Cue Ball.
Yeah.
If I wasn't setting up Facebook right now, I'd look up and see what Cue Ball looks like.
Corporal Cue Ball.
Thank you for the correction. You knew that. You knew what I meant. But I don't have time to do it right. Once I get Facebook, I'll go look up Cue Ball, his picture.
All right. 1921, Bat Masterson passed away.
Was he related to Batman?
No,
How do you know?
because
You answered kind of quickly. Instead of, I don't know, you said, no.
no,
How do you know?
because Bat Masterson's a real person and Batman is a fictional person.
So you say.
That's what I say.
I understand.
He's an American lawman, buffalo hunter, sports writer, card player. In 1989, Mary McCarthy passed away. American novelist and critic, born in 1912. She famously said of Lillian Hellman on the Dick Cavett Show, "Every word she writes is a lie, including and the."
Okay.
2016, Bob Hoover, test pilot and airshow pilot, passed away, not in an aircraft crash. He was a very good pilot.
So this cue ball guy, what was his name?
Corporal Cue Ball. Oh, James Carville, Carville, the Ragin' Cajun.
Was he a Massachusetts guy?
What?
Was he a Massachusetts guy?
No, Louisiana.
All right, well, we'll see what Google comes up with.
He came up with the expression, "It's the economy, stupid."
Well, this guy's like on CNN or something, right?
Yeah, that's Corporal Cue Ball. Married to Mary Matlin.
Well, I'll check and see if Mary Matlin's a looker in a minute, but
We'll just scroll down just a little bit and her name will show up.
she's okay.
Very bright,
Wonderful.
sparkly.
Most women I know are very bright. Most
And,
women are superior thinkers to men.
and Sunday is the anniversary of the birth, decades ago, of our producer John McDonough.
Yes, it's a
Heck.
big day.
Eisenhower was president at the time.
And I got this handy dandy card. My first birthday card today. My first birthday card came yesterday from Glenn Mello. And thank you, Glenn. And this is my birthday card from Cliff. Thank you. It's a Hallmark card. And it's lovely. Thank you, Cliff.
Oh, happy birthday, John.
Thank you, Eileen.
21 again?
No, I'm going to be like, I think I'm 73 this year.
73.
73, but I rounded up to 75, and people say, geez, you look great for 75.
You do look great.
Thank you.
There was some, John, if you could bring up the Israeli flag.
Okay.
There was some speculation about the Israeli flag on the show
Yes,
last week, I think.
from the river to
There's-
the sea.
Yeah, there's two blue lines which, excuse me, the producer thinks represents from the Jordan River to the Mediterranean.
Now, I'm going to correct you, Cliff, because you love correcting. It's like a hobby of Cliff's.
No,
Yes, it is. It's a hobby of yours. You love to correct people.
actually, I don't. I stifle
you
it a
do.
lot.
You love to. You love it. Okay, I was talking about these two blue lines.
Yes.
And I was listening to YouTube, and they said that the blue lines represent from the river to the sea. And you said, I don't know about that. That's my recollection. I don't
Yes.
respond what you read. I don't remember exactly what you said, but you seem puzzled by this. And obviously you researched it. Please tell us more.
So the two lines come from the Jewish prayer shawl.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what do those lines mean?
I have no idea.
Okay, so this is a prayer shawl.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm gonna go ask, I'll go ask Google.
Good. That'll keep you busy.
No, I'm just, this way you can cough your head off over there, get your, do you want some water?
No, I have some ginger ale here.
All righty, well, I'm gonna say, blue lines on
While you're doing that, have
It's-
you taken your Myers-Briggs test yet?
No, I don't even know is that in that little book you gave me?
Yeah, that's
No, I did
in the
not.
paperclip.
I looked, but I didn't really, I didn't make time to zero in on it yet.
The
But,
paperclip.
Yeah, I know,
Between
I
the
told-
pages
I
between the
said-
paperclip.
I told that one, I said, honey, Cliff brought this book, he thinks you should read this book. I have to read where the paperclip is. She said, okay. So,
That's all she said was okay?
Yeah, she was like making a quilt. She makes quilts,
Yeah.
beautiful quilts. But anyway, okay. This is the two horizontal blue stripes on the Israeli flag represent the stripes on the tallit, a traditional Jewish prayer shawl. A blue color on the Israeli flag has multiple meanings. You might want to shut your mic off, Cliff. So, first of all, God's glory. In Judaism, blue symbolizes God's glory, purity, and severity. Then the second, the heavens. The blue is the talat, represents the heavens. And then it goes, oh, let's show more. Oh, boy. According to the Torah, one strand of the ritual fringes on the talit should be light blue shaded between green and blue. Rabbi Meir said that color recalls the color of the sky. And lastly, the Israeli flag was adopted. It's coming up on his birthday, October 28th. 5 months after Israel's establishment, the flag design was inspired by the flag of the World Zionist Organization, which also, who was their Betsy Ross? My question. Apparently they didn't have a Betsy Ross. Which also featured two light blue stripes and the Star of David. The original flag had a dark blue stripes, but they were later lightened to make the flag more visible at sea. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't mean from the river to the sea. It means what I just told you, according to AI in Google. Back to you, Cliff.
Okay, so we're into early voting here in Lowell.
Did you vote yet?
Nope. As of yesterday afternoon, over 1,000 people have already voted in person at City Hall.
Fantastic.
It's in the mayor's reception room, second floor.
Is there pizza?
Right turn out of the elevator. It's every day through noon on Friday, 1 November. But it's only until noon on Friday. Saturday and Sunday, it's 9 to 5. They've got 6 people up there, plus a policeman. There was a policewoman when I stopped by there to check on it.
Isn't that nice?
They cheerful, friendly, and not a lot of people, but a few people were there voting. And people were coming and going.
If there were pizza, there'd be more. And we should tell the mayor, next time Danny Rourke comes, like I said, why don't we use the senior center? Have like food there, have, because they have lunch there today. And they have lunch at senior center every day. Have like brownies and pizza.
Are you going to pay for it?
We're paying for it now, Cliff.
We're not paying for it because we don't have it.
Yes, the city hall's open, there's no food for those people. If you have food, they will come. They used to, a bazillion years ago, I'm across the street at the Rogers School. I was on some kind of neighborhood school board or something, I don't know what it was. But I sat there with a bunch of characters just like myself, and they're puzzled, why don't people come to our gatherings? So why don't you have food? What would food do? Well, you have the gathering at supper time. We have children, we have mothers, fathers. If we had spaghetti dinner, we'd get a bigger crowd, I think. Well, lo and behold, it worked. So I think we should move voting to the senior center of your town. Whatever seniors, like out in Tewksbury, talking to some people yesterday at the smartest men in Tewksbury's meeting. They meet monthly. No, they meet twice a month. And they were bragging about they had already voted, and it was lovely. But if they had voting at the senior center with food, they'd have a heck of a crowd. Because you go in and vote, you'd sit down with your friend Charlie or your friend Mary and chit-chat with them, have a wonderful time.
But isn't there food where you normally vote on election day?
No, there's no food at the Rogers School. I voted at the Rogers School across the street, no food. They used to have brownies like years ago, but apparently great state legislators decided that will be against the law. You cannot sell brownies.
Well, is that... Eileen, what about that? You're on the school committee. How come no food when we're voting?
She's busy. When she gets here, we'll hit her with that one.
Do you think we should call 911?
No, she's working on beautification. Don't worry about it. She's good.
Yes, no, that was a major point of contention for me when they stopped doing that, because I used to love going over to vote with my mom, and there used to always be like maybe gingerbread cookies or something that people are selling, and I mean, that was something like, you don't want to go voting when you can't vote, but the fact that you could get something sweet was nice.
So we're blaming Ed Kennedy and Vanna Howard for this?
No, it was
I don't
before. It was
know.
Dave Nangle. It was Dave Nangle and Steve Peter Giatakis.
Ah. Well, it's a good thing they're no longer in the
Well,
legislature.
they're still around, but they'll give you the reason for it,
You wanna put it
but
in
bring
there?
it back.
Yeah. Well, the next time Vanna Howard's here, let's ask her about that.
Well, why don't you invite her?
Yeah.
Okay, so we got a comment coming in
Good.
from YouTube. You can comment on YouTube today. I think this guy's in like Utah or something. Smokes a lot of weed. He's a frequent flyer here on City Life. He chimed in last week. And he says, Kamala Harris 2024, obviously. Well, I have to tell you this, smokes a lot of weed. Yesterday, it was predicted at the smartest men in Tewksbury meeting that Trump's going to win. And also, he likes the audio sounds great, so that's good. Thank you for your comments.
Speaking of Kamala Harris, it seems like their closing pitch is that Donald Trump is a fascist. Actually, of those four people, I think Tim Walz is the
What's Kamala
the
Harris?
fascist.
Do they have any nicknames for her?
No.
Okay.
Although some, I think, are calling her Cackles.
So yesterday I'm in Cambridge, drove by Liz Warren's house. It's a fortress with Kamala Harris signs on the fence.
Ah.
So Kamala Harris signs are frequent flyers in Cambridge, Massachusetts.
One would expect. So, Eileen, have you been hearing this this closing argument that Donald Trump is a fascist? Maybe not. John, have you been hearing this?
What's that? I'm reading.
That Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yeah, I've heard them call him a lot of it. Where's Stormy? Stormy coming? There's not much time left. Is Stormy coming back?
I don't think so.
And Kamala's promiscuous past? Is that coming into light?
We wouldn't talk about that. That would be impolite.
Well, no, I was told those are the two things that are coming out, and they never came out. Promiscuous past and Stormy Daniels. Stormy Daniels.
What you got instead was Kamala Harris's husband's dubious past with women. But sort of like Hunter Biden's laptop, it's not getting much of a play. On the other hand, Bob Woodward's book came out a week ago. It's called War, and it's a look at the White House, Ukraine, and what's going on in Israel. I'm about 40% of the way through it, and it's being used to portray Trump as a fascist. So I sent you something.
Now, why do you read propaganda? Do you enjoy propaganda?
No, I
Comment
want to
on-
know what the other side is thinking.
Comment from the audience. It's not the other side. You just described the South Common. If you have food, they will come. Good point, but don't you think it'd be good if we brought it back to voting? I mean, it'd be great if they had pizza from, like, I don't care where you get pizza from. Go to Espresso's, go to Lowell House of Pizza. I don't care, George's Pizza. I don't care. We'll go wherever you want for Tony and Ann's. Every town has great pizza. Have it at the senior center, plenty of parking. Go in there, have a slice of pizza, vote for your candidate, and go home. More fun at the senior center. Have you been to the senior center, Cliff?
I've been to the senior center.
I think we went together.
I've been there a number of times. I go there about once a month.
Oh, really? What for? What for?
What for?
Yes.
To drop off expended insulin containers.
Oh, cute. You didn't get free food over there? To go home?
No.
If you speak to my friend Beverly, in fact, I'm going to see her today, Friday. Yeah, I have a meeting today over there, the Friends of the Senior Center, at 9. And I don't know if every Tom, Dick, and Harry can get free, but I know I got free food once. My wife made me bring it back. So,
Was it cold by the time you got it back?
no, it was like, cans of food and stuff like that. I got
Oh.
it and I brought it back because my wife said, that's for the needy, honey. Bring it back.
Yeah.
So I brought it back.
Well, that's good that you did. So I sent you a chart by
Messenger?
Google Memorandum or
But did you send it on Messenger? How did you
Messenger. Yeah, there we
send it?
go.
Let me go and look at Facebook.
Because I'm having trouble figuring out what people really mean by fascist. For instance, General Kelly, who had been Trump's chief of staff, said he would be a dictator. And then he said he would be a fascist.
Now, do you know the children of today's world think a dictator is a new potato? New potato chip? Dictator?
And I didn't know that.
Yeah. Kids of this world aren't as educated as you think they might be. They think it's a pickled, flavored potato chip.
Well, I was afraid you were going to wander off into Gretchen Whitmer in her sarcastic video
Sarcastic video.
using a Dorito as a simulation for communion for somebody. It was,
Is this the text you're talking about? Whoops. What happened to Cliff and Clear?
I don't know.
It was there. There it is. This it?
Yeah, look at that. So I tried to rank people by how bad they are, and
Woodrow Wilson is the worst?
no, he's the least worst. We're going by scale here. He violated people's rights, threw one of his political opponents in jail. Not necessarily a great guy. And then there's, under the label fascist, there's Antonio Salazar from Portugal, Francisco Franco from Spain, the inventor of fascism, Benito Mussolini of Italy.
Okay, would you give us a 100 words or left? I'll look up fascism. And
All right, that'd be good.
it's a nice word that people throw out there, and I don't know what fascism is.
Yeah, well,
don't know what
that's
fascism is?
exactly my point. I don't think people know. Adolf Hitler, some people say he's a fascist, but he thinks he's a Nazi.
Well-
And what about Joseph Stalin?
FAC?
Yeah. FASCISM.
Fascist. Here we go. Fascist. Fascism is a far right. What the hell does that mean, Google? Far right? We're looking for an explanation here. Well, now we have to say, what the hell's right? Authoritarian and sounds like the guy's got to go to the bathroom. That's way too deep for me. We'll try this one over here. Same baloney. What's fascist in simple terms? Thank you, Google. Because I'm simple, this is what I want to see. Same thing, far right. Excuse me, Google, this is too deep already. So,
And ladies and gentlemen, this is what you get when the producer does not have a clue where the host is going and jumps in and gets ahead.
okay, another word for fascism. Dictatorship.
Yes?
Tyranny. Sounds like a Disney movie. I never heard the third word. Despotism.
Despotism.
Never heard the word before today.
Oh.
And then absolutism. Never heard any of that stuff. So I don't know what it is. It's kind of like biting a piece of cake that you don't know where it came from or who made it, but you're just hungry, and it's lousy. But it looks really good.
Okay, back to the other chart for a second. So, you got Benito Mussolini, you got someone like Carlo Levi, who gets put in internal exile because he has been a thorn in the side, but he
Yeah.
lives through World War II and gets to write a book.
Liz Warren, but Nancy Pelosi's pushing her book. Buy my book, buy my book. You'll see her on TV this weekend.
Oh, good.
Buy my book, buy my book.
On the other hand, under Adolf Hitler, Anne Frank writes a diary and she never gets to edit it because she dies in a death camp. So I see a distinction between 4 and 5. 6, Joseph Stalin. Now, most people do not think of him as right wing. They think of him as left wing, but he kills more people than Hitler. And a lot of his killing gets covered up. For instance, he killed a couple million Ukrainians in 1932 or so in what's called the Holodomor. And the prime reporter for the New York Times, Walter Duranty, says, nothing happened. Everything's great. He got a Pulitzer Prize for it,
Now,
for covering up.
what leader killed the most people in global history?
Well, I'm going with number 7, Mao Zedong.
I think
Wikipedia
Genghis Khan.
says during the Great Leap Forward, he killed 15 to 55 million. I've heard he's killed up to 100 million.
Starved them to death.
The what?
He starved them to death.
Well, that's better than other ways.
That's how he killed them.
That's nice.
He starved them to death.
But I'm
And
listening.
he sold the food they were supposed to get to Russia, and Russia gave him tractors.
So, I was at the Raytheon plant parking lot in Sudbury listening to NPR one morning, and some lady came on talking about Mao and the Great Leap Forward and the millions that died. And she said, well, if you're going to make an omelet, you have to break some eggs. Like, that would excuse it. Okay, number 8. Did you get number 8 there?
Pol Pot, famous in this town.
Pol Pot? Yeah. his total number was not that high, but his proportion was pretty high. He wanted to start over. There's a book out called Year Zero, because that's what he did. He reset the calendar to zero. They killed people who wore glasses because they thought they might be intellectuals. So somewhere in there, where do we pick out who is the worst? Fascism only covers Salazar through maybe Hitler, but Hitler's really a Nazi, a National Socialist. Don't we normally think of socialism as left-wing? John?
Cliff, Hitler was not a nice man.
The what?
Hitler was a terrible guy.
Yeah.
He killed every race out there. He zeroed on the Jews big time, but he killed a lot of people
Yeah.
just because of their religious background.
Or their genetic background, because he got his genetic theory from the United States.
Special needs people executed.
Yeah. Life unworthy of life.
So what is the lesson we learned here, Cliff? Because once this is done, I'm going to go and look up who killed the most people in global history.
The point is that people are throwing around the word fascist and they have no idea what they're talking about.
That's right, neither do you. You don't seem to know what you're talking about. I've heard right wing, left wing. What the hell's left wing? Now you're going to give me your version of what left wing means, and somebody will send me a text telling me what left wing means. And then we'll get the right wingers, whatever the heck that is. What is a left wing? In your mind, Cliff, what's a left winger?
Okay, the way to think about it is to go back to the origin. It's a tennis court with rows on the side of the tennis court. And on the left side are people who are ordinary citizens. More to the center are clergy people, and on the right side of these seats are the aristocracy. And
Another
this
$25 word, what's the aristocracy?
knights, barons,
So
lords.
they're sitting there in their armor.
What?
They're sitting there with their armor suits on?
No.
The knights?
No. They're sitting there having been knighted by the king,
So they're
or
rich people.
inherited the
The rich
knighthood.
people,
Well, today you might call them the rich people.
super
yeah.
rich people.
Yeah.
Okay. So those are the lefties?
No, those are the righties.
The righties, okay. Right
And
winger
this
are
all
rich,
comes from.
left winger are poor.
Have you been to Versailles in France?
I don't remember it, but I was to France. It's nice. A little stingy with their food, but it's tasty. Italy, really stingy with their food. I couldn't believe how stingy they. I thought we'd have a big plate
Wait.
of spaghetti. No,
Wait.
stingy.
In Italy, they've got a place where they sell pizza by the meter.
Well, I didn't get there.
No,
Been
the
to
Amalfi
Rome, and
Coast.
Florence, and a bunch of places in Italy. Lovely people, but I know why they're skinny. Stingy portions.
I never thought of that.
Huh? When did you get an American portion of food when you went to a restaurant in Italy? In France, even beautiful food. Oh my God, that's so pretty I can't eat it. But stingy portions.
Huh.
The Russians, they know how to eat. Russian portion, almost what you get in America. In St. Petersburg, Russia. Nice food there. American food's tastier, but it was bountiful.
What's a famous Russian food?
What did she say?
What is the famous Russian food?
I can tell you the Polish one is kielbasa. I don't know. What's the famous Russian
Oh,
food?
yeah.
What is it?
Borscht.
I don't know.
Oh,
Borscht. B-O-R-S-T.
Borscht. And what is borscht?
Some sort of meat thing.
Okay.
Anyway.
An aristocracy. Okay.
Anyway, during the French Parliament, before the Revolution, when they would meet, they'd meet in Versailles in the tennis court, and that's the way it went. You were seated by your socioeconomic status. And the left was the common people, and the right was the aristocracy. And that has been adopted as some sort of convention by the press. Sometimes the press adopts conventions and they're kind of screwed up. For instance, the idea that the Republicans have the color red and the Democrats have the color blue. But yet, in the rest of the world, red is a symbol of the socialist revolution. The Soviet Union flag being red, the flag of Communist China being red, big red stripe in the North Korean flag. So these conventions don't always make sense. But, and that's why I brought this up, because I don't think people understand what fascism is, and I don't think they have a sense of, in the spectrum of governments, where fascism lies. And there are things worse than fascism, I think. I think Stalinist Russia, Maoist China, and even Pol Pot's Cambodia, Idi Amin in Uganda. There are a bunch of bad actors out
So
there.
I asked Google, namely, who killed the most humans in history? And you get all this gobbledygook. Where's a list? That's all I want, a list. Power kills, Black Death, Holocaust, the 6 most dangerous birds. And what's the matter with you, Google? Are you afraid to tell us? Whatever happened, like, simply would, it's...
How
Google is-
did you word the search?
Namely, who killed the most humans in history? That's
What's
how I
that
put it.
first word?
Namely.
That may have confused them.
Okay, I'll get rid of namely, just go with who. Power kills, how many people have ever lived on Earth, list of serial killers, man who accidentally killed the most people in history, 10 top causes of death. What kind of malarkey is this? Who killed the most humans in history? Shouldn't be this hard.
Well, you got an answer to that.
Which one?
The one that, the second one down.
How many people have ever lived on Earth?
No. Scroll down a little bit. List of serial killers by number of victims.
Serial killers.
Yeah,
That's like the Boston Strangler.
yeah.
No, I want like the Mao Tse-tung guy there.
Go with genocides and see what that does for you.
Genocides. All right, I'll try good old genocides. Largest. Probably spelled genocide wrong. Oh, it wants me to correct that. List of genocides. Cases of genocides. History of genocides. Genocides. Not doing too good here.
Why don't you go back to list of genocides?
List of genocides. We'll go to this guy. Yeah. Now, looks like a city council packet. Way too much information. Genocides in history. I'll try that one. We'll get some more gobbledygook. They like that skulls business. I'm not seeing much, Cliff. Let me shrink it up so you can see what's on the screen here. Oh, come on, don't do that to me. Shrink it a little bit more. And definitions of genocide. Historical genocides. Human
Okay.
history. You like something here?
Yeah, keep scrolling. That could be good.
I don't think this is going to get us here,
Yeah.
Cliff.
I'll do some research and we'll talk about it Monday.
Okay. Back to you, Cliff.
So anyway,
So, Eileen, is she on her way?
I would think so.
Yes, I should be there in like 3 minutes. 2 minutes.
Okay,
Did you leave the door open?
yes.
Eileen, lock the door when you come in. Please.
Okay. Will
So-
do.
So people are throwing around the word fascist, and I don't think they know what it means.
They don't. We still don't.
And we're looking at President Trump, and people are claiming that, I don't use the word authoritarian, he wants to be an authoritarian.
There's another crazy term. I'll look up authoritarian. There's no definition. It's a very
Your
broad.
picture is in the definition.
My picture's what?
It has your picture.
Authoritarian.
But yet, you look at Governor Tim Walz during the COVID lockdown, he imposed very strict restrictions on the people of Minnesota, and then he tried to get people to rat out their neighbors if they were violating his rules.
Okay.
What was that all about?
It's just mamby-pamby stuff, Cliff. You know, it's just a matter of the government's in charge right now. Okay, they always want you to tattle on Big Brother. Okay, authoritarianism, the enforcement or advocacy of strict obedience to authority at the expense of personal freedom. He warned against intrusion of authoritarianism in various countries. Lack of concern for the wishes of others. In his authoritarianism, he has displayed disrespect for the culture and he works in. What is authoritarianism in simple words? I bet you there's some foggy stuff in this one too.
But authoritarianism in simple words, I'm in charge, shut up.
Oh, go back to Sister Superior. Catholic school.
Exactly.
It worked. Worked for me. Political scientists use the term authoritarianism to describe a way of governing that values order and control over personal freedom. A government run by authoritarianism is usually headed by a dictator. That's the new potato chip from Lay's.
Ignore the potato chip.
And we're going to have an example. I hope they put down St. Peter's School here, because it was. They were strict. No, St. Peter's School. There she is. Good morning, Princess.
How are you?
Happy Friday. Okay. An example of authoritarianism.
Authoritarianism.
There you go. Thank you, Commander. I know, Colonel. What is it? Okay. By contrast, popular authoritarian, whatever regimes are mobilization regimes, which, no, that's too deep. I don't care. There's nothing about, it brings up Argentina, Juan Perón, Egypt, Venezuela, and Nicolas Maduro. Never heard of that dude before today. So back over to you, Cliff.
Okay. So, the
You can hang up your phone, Cliff, and you can grab that mic that does the phone.
phone is hung up.
I
Okay.
hung up on him.
Just leave it. It's
I'll
good.
leave it like that.
Yeah. So, one of the things we're looking at is
We,
people are suggesting that Trump is showing signs of decline, mental, physical decline.
Compared to Joe Biden 90 days ago, what are they talking about?
Yeah, compared to Joe Biden, compared to Kamala Harris. So what do you think? Is Trump showing signs of decline?
According to Carmela, yes.
Do you think he is?
I don't think so.
Hey, did you see him making French fries?
Yeah, McDonald's. I saw that. That was good.
That's a half an hour show. I watched it on YouTube yesterday. He learned how to do it there, and pretty cool.
I guess
Waving out the
he loves McDonald's too. He
waving
eats
out
it
the
all
window to
time.
the crowd.
I know. They had to have known. Like, did you see the streets lined with all the people?
Yeah. He should just tell them, make sure you go out and vote. Did you
Really?
vote yet, Eileen?
No. I'll do it on the actual voting day. I'll bring my mother over, and then I'm gonna have a tooth extracted that day as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
Don't you think, now, what happened to food at the polls? Did you get rid of it?
Yes, I vetoed it. The woman who brings donuts here every Friday, except today, because I was a little scrambled.
Can you imagine how crowded early voting would be? Especially, we'll pick the Lowell Senior Center. This time of day, they have breakfast sandwiches. Right around 11 o'clock, we have regular sandwiches.
So every day, a senior can go in and just grab a breakfast sandwich.
If you vote, you gotta vote. If you vote, you get a sandwich. If you don't vote, nothing for you.
I like that.
And who's gonna pay for it? We will. Put it in the budget.
Well, that would be a great way to get the vote out if you offered pizza, like dinner,
Slice of pizza?
for
That'd be supper time. Pizza.
supper, right? That would bring out a lot more people instead of coming home and having to figure out something to make for dinner. All right, let's go vote and have a piece of pizza, and that will be dinner for the night.
And maybe for the preliminary election, we just have desserts. You go in, there's Twinkies, cupcakes, chips.
Yeah,
A preliminary election, which I think is a
like
waste
an
of time.
appetizer.
Yeah,
The appetizer before the event.
because no one actually gets elected that day.
Yeah.
on the other hand, you'd like to see someone win the seat with 28% of the vote?
I don't know whether.
So do you like the regular Twinkies?
I like regular Twinkies, and you're a Twinkie.
Well, so
I like you.
what would you put on the pizza, Cliff, that I'm going to ask Eileen?
No, we're going back to voting.
No.
Because you're trying to create a system where the people that get elected are elected by a small percentage of the total voters. And how does that reflect the will of the people? Do you want to go to ranked choice voting like they have down in Cambridge?
You know, we talked about this yesterday at the Smartest Men in Tewksbury meeting. And the way around it is you just bullet vote. If you're forced to vote with ranked choice voting, you just vote for one candidate. That's it. One.
There you are.
Can we just talk about this pen that Cliff gave me for a second? Can we just?
Yeah.
It looks like it could take someone's eye out. It's called
Yeah,
a
zoom.
curved pen.
Yeah, zoom in on it, John, so they can fully appreciate.
All right, first I'll take down the graphics. All right, now we're gonna swing the camera over a little bit.
There,
I'm
wait,
going as
here.
fast as I can.
There we go. I just had to.
If
line-
move it off to your right so that the mini blinds are contrasting the whole thing. That's, still can't see. Put it on your, okay, there you go, all right. Oh, I went down.
I wonder if I put it up by my skin.
Yes,
Slide it down. Down, there you go. Holy cow, what the heck kind of pen is that, Cliff?
A curved pen.
A curved pen.
And the advantage is it has more drag than a regular pen, so therefore, someone like me who's a little older, it allows you to write a little more clearly.
Yes. I just wrote, love this pen.
Have you tried a Sharpie?
No, this is so much more, it's much
A
more.
Sharpie has the same impact because it's got more drag than a regular roller ball. So the Boston Globe is pushing the idea that Trump is in cognitive and physical decline, but I think he's keeping a tougher schedule than Kamala Harris is keeping.
Yes.
Hey, we blew through the break.
Ooh,
So
we
you gotta
did
say
blow through the break.
good morning to Lowell and Chelmsford. I mean, we've already had Tingsboro, Drake and Tewksbury already been out there. Now it's Lowell and Chelmsford getting out of bed.
So, welcome to City Life Show. I'm Cliff Krieger, your host. It's Friday, and weather out there is chilly but good. Eileen Delrossi is my co-host,
Good morning, everybody.
and our producer's John McDonough. And we're hoping in about 25 minutes to have someone in to talk about a free medical clinic tomorrow. And they'll
Sushi?
provide the details.
No,
Sushi?
he's not coming. Sometimes he comes. We'll see.
We'll see who comes. So we've been talking about the political side. I went by City Hall yesterday, the mayor's reception room. They've had 1,000 people vote so far. As of about 3 o'clock yesterday, that had 1,000 people vote. It goes on every day from now until Friday, the 1st of November. They shut down at noon today and noon next Friday, but they're open from 9 to 5 Saturday and Sunday. So you can vote early. That way, in case there's some natural disaster like a freak snowstorm on 5 November, you can you know that you've banked your vote and it's good. And you don't have to worry about not getting to the polls. We're discussing it in our house, but Eileen, you say you're going to vote on the day,
Yes.
all right? And John, what are you going to do?
Likely vote on the day.
All right.
Yeah, I don't like the early voting. I know it has its place, but I like, going and seeing the signs and the people and being extroverted, not introverted.
We've been picking on Donald Trump in the previous hour. I'm trying to figure out what candidate Harris's view is on the border wall. She couldn't give CNN's Anderson Cooper a straight answer yesterday. Okay, go ahead.
Comment from the audience. Kamala's biggest problem is her inability to answer a question. She's becoming famous for her word salads. She faced herself in CNN Town Hall and still lost. Moving right along with the comments, the most delicious pizza in the world, George's special hamburger and onion at Lowell House of Pizza. And John Curtis, he sent a picture of the pizza.
Ooh.
And Monday Night Dinner Club is going to Lowell House of Pizza on Monday.
Little House of Pizza. How is George's?
I'm getting a George's special. And oh my God, I love that. So I'm getting a small George's special. And I will share it with anybody who wants a slice. But oh my God, it's delicious. That's Monday night at 5:30.
But didn't you go to George's this past
We
Monday?
went to Delicatessen, yeah.
Oh, but Lowell
George's
House-
Deli was, Louis was up there. He's the boss. George's Delicatessen, and we had cheesesteak. I forgot to ask, Tammy had looked like 2 hamburgers. I didn't know which, I forgot to ask her. But George Dristlihouse got looked like a salad with tuna on it. Most of us got the torpedo, but Regina got cheesesteak. Oh, it's a delicious night.
But, so Lowell House of Pizza has a George's special?
Yeah, George's, there was a place called George's Pizza. You know where Anton's is on Broadway?
Yes.
Across the street used to be George's Pizza. And it was a night, it was a former era restaurant. It was an olden style restaurant, but they served delicious Italian food. And their pizza was out of this world. Well, they got sick of it, or they got old, I don't know what happened, but they ended up closing. And the place down the street bought the recipe. And so George's Pizza
Okay.
continues, and that's what I'll be consuming on my dinner.
The best pizza is Michelangelo's.
Okay. Where is Michelangelo's?
It's on the Dimensiana, just south of Dead Man's Curve
All righty.
in Lago Patria.
I haven't been there yet, but I'll take your word for it. I disagree. It's hard to beat.
How could you disagree if you haven't
Because
tried
this is
it?
just better.
That does look amazing. And I'm not an onion fan, but
Well, you can skip the onions.
yeah. It looks like it's almost like a deep dish type of
Yeah, it's
pizza.
thick. It's almost an inch thick, and it's soft, not crunchy. Oh, it's delicious. It's too bad Cliff's never tried it. He would change his mind on Angelo. I still don't know what country.
Michelangelo's.
I don't know what country he's
Pizza
talking
by
about.
the meter.
No, Pizza by a Meter is down on the Amalfi Coast, on the other side of Naples,
So where was Michelangelo's Pizza? What country?
Italy.
I understand. Was it skimpy portions?
No?
I'll go off to Google and I'll see if I can get a picture of Michelangelo's Pizza in Italy. Where in Italy?
I think Lago Patria.
Of course.
No, it's not Lago Patria. It's
Never mind. Google. Michelangelo Pizza.
yeah. So, I have no idea what Kamala Harris's position is on the border wall. Anderson Cooper a couple of times said in this dumb immigration bill that it calls for $650 million to build the wall, and did she agree with that? And all she could say was that Donald Trump had done a bad job building the wall.
Yeah, it seems like every time she's asked a question, she deflects to Donald Trump did this, he's not stable, blah, 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 blah. And it's, I mean, think what you want, but if you're running for this big position that's going to run the country, I think you need to do a lot more than deflect.
Was that in Rome?
No. Think Naples.
Naples. Is that it? La Enti Pizzeria de Machi?
No.
Oh, Cliff, your famous pizza does not exist. Doesn't exist, Cliff. Sorry, George's wins.
And I'm in Centerville. Wasn't there a place where now?
If I'm
like
over in
where-
Centerville, I'm going to Tony and Ann's and drink it.
Oh yeah, I did that not a few weeks ago. It is really
They're
good.
not open every day, but oh,
No.
it's delicious stuff.
But wasn't there a place over the Bridge Street Bridge, right to your left, and wasn't it called Giorgio's, maybe? Or I think it was
My favorite
Giorgio's.
coworker, her name is Paula Clark. She she lives over on 3rd Street, and she knows where to eat in Centerville.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So the other thing is that Kamala Harris, and I think this was again at the CNN event with Anderson Cooper, her solution to inflation is she's going to go after companies for price gouging. And
Impossible. Start it with the United States government.
I'm sorry,
They
explain
charge too much
yourself.
taxes.
You what?
They charge too much taxes. And the secretive tax, like you go buy a candy bar. Ka-ching, the government gets money, tax.
Yeah.
Go buy a pair of shoes, ka-ching. Go buy some gasoline, ka-ching. So
So,
I think that is illegal. Knock that off, Kamala. Just income tax. That's it. Or have a sales tax. I don't pick one, but you can't have 50. Go register your car, ka-ching. You want to drive the car down the highway, ka-ching. Give the government more money.
so Kamala
Eileen smiling.
Harris is saying that she's going after price gougers, and therefore she's going to, in fact, set the prices by the government. Do you think that it won't happen? Are you saying she's lying to us, or are you saying she's stupid?
I'm saying the media has no guts
Well-
to say to her, Madam Vice President, if you do not accomplish this within 1 year, will you resign as president? The media has no guts. That's what you got to ask a politician. If you don't do this, 1 year into your reign, will you resign? And they just can't pick and choose. They got to ask Donald the same questions. If you don't do it within a year, will you resign?
That's fine, but it's like talking to my brother Lance. You've sort of wandered off.
We've been talking about Lance a lot. How is he?
He's
That's how
doing
Lancelot
okay.
got his name. Lancelot.
Lance a lot.
So, are you saying that Kamala Harris is uninformed when she says that we're dealing with price gouging and we'll drive the prices of Demoulas down by going against the Demoulas company? Or do you think that she knows the truth and she's just lying to us because she thinks that we'll eat up the answer? Eileen, John's tongue twisted, so go
I'm
ahead.
not tongue twisted. I get a text coming.
Can you repeat that question?
Yeah.
This one just came in. I don't know what the meaning of this is. Where's the pizza?
Tim, like,
It's a picture of Donald Trump building a brick wall.
that's obviously photoshopped because
That's
it's
not
a
a brick.
girl's leg, right?
Thank you for the correction, Cliff.
That's body.
You're welcome.
Like, I don't know, like he's a tool man, he can do everything? Is
No,
that
he's
what
building the wall.
Not a wall, Cliff. I'm just picking on you.
He's going to prevent the illegal immigrants from coming in. So the question is, for this idea that we're going to have price controls, is this because Kamala Harris doesn't understand how economics works, or is this because she thinks it's a good idea and that we'll all eat it up?
I think we blame it on the media. And these two issues, I'm going to blow it up a little bit more.
Yeah, a little bit more.
If Harris was going, if Miss Harris
see
was
it
doing
now.
a good job, they wouldn't need to drag
Drag out
Barack and Michelle,
Barack,
Hillary,
Michelle,
and
Hillary,
all those Hollywood phonies.
phonies. The whole Biden administration lied from the beginning, and soon the end, be the end.
Okay, soon to be the end. Yes.
I mean, yeah, we just need help. This country needs help.
So, John, straight answer, which is it? She doesn't understand economics, or she's gaslighting us?
She doesn't know what she's talking about.
Okay, thank you.
I like the word salad term that they use for Vice President Harris. And why don't they cover, what did she do today? Put a camera on for her for half an hour and see what happens. Camera and audio for 30 minutes of Kamala's life.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
You won't see it on YouTube.
So, you've heard about the fact that our intel's on what Israel might do to Iran in response to that missile attack? How that was leaked to the press?
No, I am not up on that information.
Did you hear about that, John?
Yeah,
Yeah.
nobody gets fired. Who got fired from the,
Wait,
remember
John, you're getting ahead of the story here. Hang on.
I'm holding on.
All right, so a lot of people are pointing their finger at Ariana Tabatabaia, who previously was the chief of staff for the Deputy Secretary of Defense for Special Operations. And they have been saying that she's the one that leaked the information. And so the Department of Defense just announced that she has been promoted to be in charge of the Department of Defense Force and Education Training. So here's a case of screwing up and moving up.
Screwing up
Can I
and
ask my
moving up.
question now? Can I ask my question now?
Sure, go ahead.
What happened to the person who leaked the Supreme Court's decision about abortion?
Nothing, because we don't know who it is.
And why don't we know?
I don't know. I assume that for political reasons it's been suppressed. It could have been suppressed by John Roberts because it was done by one of the Supreme Court justices, and they had a little come to Jesus meeting, and the Supreme Court justice agreed that they had done wrong and they would never do it again. So, there you are. How do you think Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are doing vis-a-vis Joe Biden? Are they trying to separate themselves, or are they trying to hang together on that?
It looks like they're trying to separate, or Biden's trying to separate from Harris, it seems like, from what I've seen. And I've really only seen like clips from the news on YouTube Shorts or
Yeah.
whatever. So that's what it appears to be like for me. Sorry, tired. And I've been reading, actually, I was reading Hillbillyish, J.D. Vance's book, and he has a pretty interesting past. And
Yeah.
To
everything.
be able to climb out of that mess.
Yeah.
I watched the movie.
Oh, I know I saw something.
I think
Was
it's
it on Netflix?
Netflix. I
From
think
you? You had sent that to us, right? Yeah. All right.
my wife had already read the book, and she said, this movie's going to be good. So we watched it, and J.D. Vance transfigured himself from a magnificent individual who pulled himself really out of deep doo-doo. That's what he was born into.
Yeah.
It's interesting, one of his mentors at Yale Law is Professor Chow, who's the author of, I don't know, is it The Saga of the Tiger Bombs?
Sounds right.
Yeah. Have you read that book?
No, I have not, but I did see an interview with her, and it explained like she saw a lot of herself in J.D. Vance from what she had experienced in her own coming to
Yeah.
America and so forth, and the oppression and so forth of what you go through.
Maybe we should buy a copy of that book for every parent.
And what do you think they're going to do with the book?
Become tiger moms.
All right. I think if we bought books, they would probably, I don't know, for
Use
every
them for
parent.
kindling.
You sell them. I mean, a lot of different things.
Speaking of tigers, what's happening with Karen Reed?
Ooh. So the defense, I still haven't got through all. So the Commonwealth sent the appeal back from last week that said we're still going to try her on all the counts, even though the jurors reported that she was not guilty on charges 1 and 3. So the Commonwealth came back with that. Then the defense filed yet again another appellate brief in her defense. So it seems like a lot is firing back and forth. Also, the ACLU got involved.
Oh,
Yep. Because of her civil rights being violated. So the ACLU also filed documentation with Norfolk County about the way that Judge Beverly Cannoni dealt with the situation. And what it really highlights is even when a judge declares a mistrial, they can't just say it's a mistrial like she did and let them go 7 minutes later or whatever it is. You have to check in with the defense and with the Commonwealth, in this case, the prosecution, and assure that this is all on the up and up. And I've seen clips of different judges declaring a mistrial, and the format is very different in how they do it. So I don't know. I guess it's to be continued.
oh, did you see where the Menendez
Menendez
brothers out in L.A.?
Yep. They want to, the DA believes that they should be resentenced
Yes.
because, well, imagine if they did what they did today, in today's day and age, with all the excuses, they would never be put in jail for that long.
Yeah, for people that aren't familiar, the Menendez brothers, a couple decades ago,
1989,
killed their,
mother and father.
both their parents, and the excuse was sexual abuse of the children by the parents, by the father. And
I guess it was pretty horrible.
yes. And that was totally ignored during the trial, and now it's been brought up again. And the district attorney out in LA, who appears to be heading for defeat in the election, has acknowledged that this was passed over and has suggested resentencing, which would allow the Menendez brothers to be furloughed, not furloughed,
Released.
be put out on parole right away. So that'll be interesting. So are you leaving at 45?
Yes, they have to leave at 45.
Or
I have to go to my real job.
Or you
Not my
could,
celebrity.
or you could go to your real job now and we'll
Oh, yeah.
make these people carry the whole second half hour.
All right, I like it. Do you want to present the producer with this?
No, you hand it to him, slide it to him as you go out the door.
Was I supposed to sign your name too?
No, I gave him a different one. All right. So we have new people in the
They're writing
room.
their names down, they're gonna mold you over in a minute.
They're writing their names down?
So,
on the
right, so
screen.
he can put it on the screen the right way.
All right. So, well, in that case, Eileen, you got to keep working.
Okay.
Did you see that North Korea's got somewhere between 3,000 and 10,000 soldiers in Russia that are supposed to be helping Russia with the Ukraine war?
Nope, I have not. What's on my head today is I have to drive to Newton for 5 o'clock to pick up Anthony from his after-school dance, and what time I should leave.
Oh,
What time I should get, but I can put it into Waze and say I have to be there for 5, and it will tell me what time to leave. So
That'll
I'll
be
do
good.
that. Yeah.
so Anthony really likes his new school.
He does, he's very happy there. Yeah.
What's special about this school?
They really, John, well, I know he's putting those names. So it's called the Learning Prep School, and it's for students who have is called a globally complex cognitive profile, which explains much of Anthony's struggles and
Can
different
you say
ways.
that again?
A
global-
globally complex cognitive profile, where you know, with the diagnoses today
Yeah.
of ADHD, anxiety, autism, all of those, right?
Yeah?
So he does not fit really one of those categories. He maybe has a piece of all of them and even more that he has been diagnosed with in the DSM-5. Although none of those diagnoses truly speak to who he is as a person and a learner, and he's an exceptional learner. And so what this school does is really bring out their strengths instead of like pigeonholing them like the public schools do and say, we need to learn to read, write, and arithmetic, right? And so he's able to express himself. He's able to express his knowledge with more confidence, because the first thing he said was, "Mom, those kids are all just like me." And I mean, as a mom,
Yeah.
that to me was great. And we are cut. And I'll send you pictures of I'll send you stuff for Monday, and we can look at his school, and you can.
We're going
Okay.
to break. We'll be
Oh, we're
back.
going to break.
Thanks.
Thought we were cut.
Have a good weekend, Eileen.
You too.
All right, we're back on City Life, and we have two guests here to talk about medical clinic, and I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Dr. Anasuya Gunturi. I'm an oncologist. I practice here in Lowell at Lowell General Hospital.
Ah,
Yeah. And I'm Sushil Motwani. I am one of the former board members at LASA Foundation and now on the advisory team. And, we're here to talk about what LASA Foundation does, and Doctor will give you
and
more.
what is LASA?
So LASA stands for Love All, Serve All. So if you just, the name itself shows that that's what our,
Yeah.
goals are. We want to love everyone, serve everybody in the community. Lowell is a great place for that, it's been an opportunity that we have been given that we want to make use of and help the community in the long run.
So before we get into LASA, I just want to ask real quick. So, like me, you apparently weren't born in Lowell, and you got here when you could. But tell us, where are you from, and how was your journey to Lowell?
Yeah, my family immigrated to the U.S. when I was very young. I was in third grade when we moved from India to Texas, actually. So I grew up in Dallas, Texas. That's where my education was. I went to college there, graduate school, and then medical school as well. And then I came to the Boston area for my residency. I was trained in one of the hospitals in Boston, and then stayed here, never went back.
Which Boston hospital?
Beth Israel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I did my residency and then stayed there for my oncology fellowship. And then in 2015, I was looking for my first job, and a recruiter found me and told me about this opportunity at Lowell General. I didn't know what Lowell was. I didn't know anything north of Lexington at that time. I remember Googling it and putting it in my GPS, and I said, "Oh wow, it's a bit north of the city." Came up to interview, and I loved the hospital, the cancer center, the community, and I've been practicing ever since. And I don't think I'll ever leave. So that's my connection to Lowell.
I was born in Bombay, which is now called Mumbai in India, and I came here to the United States at the age of 24. This was in December of ~95. I stayed in multiple places in the United States, came to the Boston, Merrimack area, Tewksbury area in March of 2000. And after that, we've lived in the Merrimack area since then. I've been part of the service activities right since then, actually, and we obviously became an official nonprofit only in 2018, 2019 timeframe, and then we bought the building that we are going to be having the medical clinic in September of 2021.
Okay, so the clinic is when?
The clinic is this Saturday. That's tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
From 8:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m.
Before we get too far down the road, I have a comedic question to ask both of you. What was your first experience with snow?
I will tell you that I came here in 1995, and if you remember the big storm of 1996, I was in Pennsylvania, Lancaster. I was less than 2 weeks in this country, and we had 36 inches of snow, and shut down that place for 2 weeks, and almost 2 weeks we didn't go to work. We were sitting at home. There was no concept of working from home at that time, so you basically sat at home. I was in an apartment complex. I hadn't bought my first TV or anything, so I did not know what was going on. All I knew was my friends calling me on my home phone, telling me, "Don't get out of the house, we'll get you your food wherever you are." So they used to dig through shovel the snow and bring me. So that was my first
Your
experience.
first experience touching, feeling, walking, driving?
Oh, it was incredible. The best feeling ever. And that's the reason I didn't leave a cold. I stayed in Minnesota, I've stayed in Michigan, and now I'm in Boston. So I like cold places.
So, Doctor, what's your first experience with snow?
Yeah, I was a kid in Dallas. I mean, if you want to call it
Dallas,
snow.
you had
If you
snow?
want to call it snow, believe it or not, we do get some flurries, but it's nothing compared to here. So, but yeah, I guess I remember experiencing snow in Dallas. But of course, after moving here, got introduced to the real snow, and similar to Sushil, we love it. Our family is a winter family. I remember the kids growing up, they would be disappointed that around March and April that spring is coming, because it means that winter is done and skiing and all the other fun winter things that we do come to an end. So yeah, we love the winter. We love New England for that reason.
Well, I asked the question because I used to be over at UMass Lowell, and I would watch the students from China just show how happy they could really be. when they were in the snow. They'd fall down a whole flight of stairs and laugh.
Yeah.
They-
No,
they
it's thrilling
loved it,
for
loved
sure,
it.
yeah.
Okay, back to the, today's mission.
So, how did you like the Lancaster area?
So Lancaster area was, a small area, very, very small town,
Yeah.
Amish countryside.
The plain folk, absolutely.
Yep, it was a good experience.
Yeah.
I think my first couple of years, I stayed on the a little outskirts, about 5 miles away, which for that small city is a little far. But I got a good opportunity to actually go and see how even it is to live without electricity and all that stuff. So.
So did you get some of the food like shoe-fly pie and panhas or scrapple?
I did
Did you
try
eat
out-
any of that?
Yes,
Yeah?
I did. It was interesting. First of all, I was new to this country,
Yeah.
so getting used to the cuisine over
Yeah.
here was itself an experience, and then looking at Amish lifestyle was a slightly different experience.
Yeah, I feel kind of isolated because you don't get that kind of food up here.
Yeah.
I mean, at least I can find Lebanon bologna, but that's about it. So, but tell us about the clinic. It's tomorrow. Where are you going to be?
So the clinic is tomorrow. It starts at 8:30 in the morning. It ends at about 2:30. We've been, obviously focusing on this over the last 1 month, have been doing the outreach. We have about 175 people who have registered so far. We have had an average of about 200 plus people who have been coming to the clinics every single time. We started with about 170, 180 in the first one. Now this is our fifth one. We have had up to 260 people in the, at the peak. So, we are ready for 300 people this time. So, let's all, get as much outreach as we can. That's the reason coming a day before, people can actually think about it. Oh, tomorrow, what am I doing? Maybe I should go and get a health check done. So, we are here for that.
And it's at the Sai Unity Center in Lowell, right here in Lowell, 40 Old Ferry Road, right behind the new Market Basket.
Yes. Across from the fire station, right?
Exactly, right
Yeah.
across from the fire station.
So here's the,
So all you gotta do is think about the last time you went to the doctor. This is free. They do not take insurance. Just show up.
Yeah, you don't need insurance, you don't need to pay a copay, you don't need to give us really any details. The only thing is there is a consent form that you have to read and sign to give us permission to see you, to examine you, to talk to you. But other than that, no records, we don't ask for ID or, any kind of documentation. It's really just for anyone to walk
So
in.
you're gonna have a dentist there?
Yeah.
You're gonna have an eye doctor there? What are some of the medical professionals that will see? And everybody's showing up for free, right? All these people are working for free tomorrow?
Yeah, so including myself, there's a group of, I think, maybe 20 providers. It's pretty remarkable that, this many healthcare providers, doctors, nutritionists, physical therapists, just spending our free time on a weekend for this. It tells you how passionate we are about it and the cause. We feel like this is why we went into our fields. I became a doctor to serve people, and this gives me an opportunity to serve those people who are otherwise not able to access good health care. That's the way I think of it. So it's totally worth my time. And lots of different specialties are covered. Of course, just the basics like internal medicine, pediatrics. We have cardiology and endocrinology because we know that hypertension, cardiac disease, and diabetes, these are the most prevalent in our communities. So, we have strong representation from cardiology and endocrinology. But we also have, like you said, dentistry, physical therapy, ophthalmology, nutrition, mental health.
Good.
So, we're trying to touch upon all the different facets of good healthcare that one would need.
Yeah. I'd also like to add to what doctor said is, I've been getting a lot of calls in the last couple of days about the clinic because the flyer's been going around. One of the patients, one of the visitors actually called me and said that I have an extremely high deductible, and I had a very high H1AC. Is that what it's called? They've been taking medicines to control it, but now when they went to the doctor to say that they want the next appointment to check it, it's 3 months away. So they want to get their, levels checked again. So I said, this is a good place to come. She said, do I have to, show my previous records? I said, yes, just bring your whatever records you have with you, but, they don't need to even, show their insurance card because it's not necessary. They'll get all their blood work done right at this clinic, and she'll also get some, advice on what are the next steps for her, especially if her levels have gone down, whether she should continue the same medication or not. So yesterday I actually received about 22 phone calls in one day. So there is a lot of interest. We want more people to come, and
Last time you said you had 250?
Yes, we've had about 250 the last time. 218 last time, but average, we've had a peak of 250. On the third one, we had 250.
So again, this is free. You do not take insurance, just free.
Yes.
Every time the king doesn't have to pay, the peasant doesn't have to pay. Nobody pays. This is all free tomorrow, beginning 8:30 a.m.
Yeah.
Yes.
at the former Lowell Elks. It was purposely built Lowell Elks Lodge. That's in the background. Now, the Unity Center owns it, and they give you the whole space for free. And all these doctors are going to be there tomorrow to check you out. And whatever ailment you have, you want a second opinion on your diabetes, head over there. It's free.
Yes. So I just wanted to say that LASA Foundation owns it. That's the name of the nonprofit that
Oh,
owns the
LASA
building.
owns it. I thought okay.
The name of the building is Sai Unity Center. We had to give it some name, so we gave it the name. We want to unify people. It's more about bringing everyone together. So that's what it is. It's owned by LASA Foundation. That is the nonprofit that we try to serve the community.
And for you people who don't know Lowell, here is a Google map of Lowell. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit, drag it down so you can see what we're talking about here. This is the Rourke Bridge. And this is the Highlands in Lowell. This is Pawtuckaville in Lowell. Lowell General Hospital's over here, just so you can acclimate. Okay, I know what you're talking about. You got 113, lovingly referred to as the Lowell Lawrence Boulevard. That runs along here. The new Demoulas's. The new Market Basket is right here. Well, I'm sorry.
Nope.
That's
Yeah.
that's the bowling alley. You want to do this, Cliff?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So the new Market Basket's here. Here's Marshall's. Just up the firehouse that Cliff was talking about is right here. This is the old Elks Lodge, and this is where the free clinic's going to be. The Sai Unity Center, LASA Foundation. As you can see, there's a ton of freaking parking. Plenty of parking. So get there tomorrow and get your got a what you want to get checked out? It's a freebie tomorrow. You got a tooth problem? It's freebie tomorrow. You don't think your eyes are working properly? You got a freebie visit tomorrow, thanks to LASA.
Just one more thing about insurance. So people without insurance can come, as we said, and on the site we do have representation from Mass Health for those who want to register. So if you don't have insurance, come on in. We'll check you out, but we'll also connect you to the people who can help you register for Mass Health. Look at your candidacy and help you fill out the paperwork. It can be quite daunting for new people who are trying to navigate the system. So we have on-site help, and we can even try to connect you with a primary care doctor once the Mass Health application is completed. So we're hoping that we're not only helping people in real time, but also helping them access healthcare into the future as well.
Also, your colleagues that came earlier this week, you have translators there.
Yeah, we do.
So you don't even have to speak American. You can speak whatever language you want, and they'll communicate
Exactly.
with you.
So Lowell is a very special place. For many people who live in Lowell, English is not their primary language. We recognize that. So we do have on-site live interpreters for Spanish, Portuguese, Khmer, but then we also have these fancy little iPad machines that help us dial into any other language that we need to access. So we're well equipped to be able to interact with people from all walks of life.
Can you prescribe medicine?
So all of us practice medicine. We're all, we have active medical
Yeah.
licenses, but the reason why we're refraining from actual, prescribing during this clinic is for liability issues. We're not I guess we're not covered for, prescriptions during this.
Well, maybe for next time, you can pinch CVS or Walgreens to
Yeah,
get their
yeah.
butt over there and
Yeah, I
compete
think-
with one another.
I think that's definitely, an area that we can grow into. But, you'll be surprised how much a doctor can do without actually prescribing. We counsel, we, check a lot of blood tests and, physical exam. There's so much that we are able to do, but yes, we are not actually giving the actual prescriptions, but we can advise what prescriptions the person might need and try to connect them with an actual doctor.
With a
after.
regular doctor's visit, where you go to the doctor's office, sometimes they'll have a sample of prescription. They'll say, try this out, see what it does for you. If you like
Like
it,
free samples,
Yeah.
yeah, that's true.
so maybe for next time.
Yeah.
I was impressed, not just putting chemicals in your body, but I am dealing with diabetes, and my A1C was up over 8. And my diabetic doctor was not happy, and she gave me a machine that I have in my arm that I easily can read out what my blood sugar is anytime I want to. And I dropped my A1C to 5.3.
Wow,
So
that's impressive.
I think that patients
Yeah.
with information and with some help are able to do a lot for themselves,
Yeah.
it seems. Am I wrong about this?
No, that's
Yeah,
absolutely true.
yeah.
And, a lot of our focus is in screening and education. So prevention is really the key to disease, right? I mean, we need to treat disease, but what's even better is to prevent it. So we do spend a lot of time counseling and educating patients on how to live healthily and how to manage their conditions, through lifestyle changes. Cancer, I'm an oncologist, so I'm very passionate about educating patients about cancer screening. So, there are certain guidelines that are out there about, women starting to get mammograms, at age 40, colonoscopies to screen for colon cancer, smokers or people who have heavy history of smoking benefit from CT scans on a yearly basis to detect any lung cancers that might be developing. So there's so much, in terms of education that we can do, and we do focus on that.
I would also like to add that yesterday, one of the patients called me and they said that they came to this clinic before and they had diabetes, which was pretty severe, and they just did not know what to do. They spent about 30 to 40 minutes with one of the doctors out there who gave her some advice on what she should be eating and taking care of her health with exercise. And she said that it's been 6 months and she literally does not have diabetes anymore, just with the advice. She didn't have to even take the medicines. So, if people feel that they need, they want to come and ask some questions, this is the best place to do it. The doctors are not rushing you out of the door. They want to sit with you and have a conversation. So that gave me so much joy that someone was excited. I want to come and thank that doctor. Is that doctor going to be there? I said, you could meet the same person. We don't know, but come, definitely would love to have them over.
Do you interface with the homeless community here in Lowell?
Yes, so we have a lot of things outside of the medical clinic that we do. We run soup kitchens. We actually have the kitchen that was there at the Elks Lodge is now being used for cooking food. We also have a vegetable garden that we have grown at the back of our building. We had 650 pounds of vegetables that was generated this summer. We use some of it for cooking, and some of it we have donated to the food pantries. We also have a partnership with Merrimack Valley Food Bank for that, and so that's one of the things that we do. We also have, right now we have Lowell Public Schools that's actually having English-speaking classes at our location. So the 3 times a week they come between 9 and 12 on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday during the Lowell school year, and people who do not know how to speak English are getting a chance to learn English in our building. So, we have so many types of people in our community that each one of them want to help with their own skill sets. So we're trying to do as much as we can to help some of the underprivileged folks out here in the town of Lowell and the neighboring towns.
Okay, so You're both American citizens now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
So
Both
you're
drive
both-
electric cars.
What? What?
Both of them got electric cars. I asked which one's faster, and we both agreed. We didn't ask the doctor. The red one's faster.
I don't want to get tickets, that's why I don't have a red car.
Smart.
There's statistically a higher risk of getting pulled over if you
True.
have a red car.
True.
So,
So, have you voted yet?
yes, I did my early voting.
I like to go in person. I like to experience that. So I will be voting on November 5th.
I did it in person as well, but Tuesdays are hard for me, so I figured I'll just finish it. So I just got it done on Monday. It was, it's a privilege to be able to vote, and everyone should go out there and
Most-
exercise their right.
Most important office in the United States, voter.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
We need to drag everyone to the polls so that the politicians know we're paying attention. It's very important. So so it was interesting to find out that LASA is much bigger than just this clinic, which is what I had identified it with. Do you have a board of governors that help you?
Yes, it's an official nonprofit. We formed the nonprofit. We've been around for 40 years, but we wanted to do more in the community. So we, as a group, decided let's make a nonprofit, and then so that we can make more of an impact. That's how then eventually we started searching for this building. We found Elks Lodge was available. We're very fortunate. September 2021, we started, we purchased that building. And then, in fact, the very first 6 months was when the COVID was at its peak. The vaccination clinics for the
Yes.
state of Massachusetts had their, the vaccine right there.
Yeah,
That's
I
how
got
we started.
my shot there. Yeah.
Yes, so, we started there, serving the community right up front. And, I think we want to continue doing more. And I hope we definitely have the board, and because it's a nonprofit, you have to have a group. We have bylaws, and we have a term for each one of them. Like I was on the board originally. Now we have some other folks, and we just we want to make sure that we follow a proper process through the bylaws. And we file our taxes, and we have everything that's there publicly as required by nonprofit laws.
Okay. All right, so we've kind of gone through this. You go in, you sign in, there's some paperwork.
Just the consent form. Like I said,
Yeah.
just legally, we just need to get the consent form signed by the visitor, and then we have a couple of additional forms, just history taking, similar to what happens when you go to a doctor's office, just asking about your medical history, the medications that you take, any symptoms that you're experiencing. And then you move into another room where there are nurses. We have a team of volunteer nurses who help us each time. You wanted to mention the nursing group?
Yes, MRC, and also Lowell General has a few that are coming. So we have enough, a lot of volunteers. We have 40 plus volunteers just from the medical profession, and then obviously there are people outside of that who are helping to get this clinic ready for, tomorrow.
So we rely on these nurses to take the vital signs and to do some of the blood tests, so blood pressure, height, weight, and then we also do some diabetes blood tests, cholesterol testing for those who might need it. And then the visitor then moves to this next area where the nurses review all the information that has been collected on the visitor, and based on the symptoms that the patient has, the medical history that they have, as well as the vital signs and the blood test results, they will then advise the visitor on which type of doctors they should visit. So do you need to see a diabetes specialist, or do you need to see a nutritionist? Do you need to see an ophthalmologist because you have some, eye issue? So based on all this information, the specialties are identified, and then the visitor goes through, the different stations, visits with all the different doctors that have been advised for them. And then at the very end, there's a checkout station where we review all the findings with the visitor, give them another chance if they have any questions, and then they leave.
Well, there's also COVID and flu vaccines being provided because that's the season right now. So at the end of the clinic, if they want to still get themselves vaccinated, it's right there. For people who do not want to attend the clinic, they are also welcome to come and just get the COVID and flu. So if you want to come and get your flu vaccine, you could come tomorrow. If you have your regular doctor and you don't need to come to you don't want to do the rest of the stuff, come for the COVID.
Coming up on
flu.
Monday at City Life, Cliff will be here. Dominic Lay's coming at 7. Dr. Bill Johnson, he's coming. I always enjoy his visit. Eileen Delrossi will be back, Fru Neckenbeck, and Mike Smith, that's on Monday. And I think the pizza's behind this. No, here we go. This is the health clinic that we're talking about this morning. And the best thing about this, you don't need an appointment. You can, if you have something that's ailing you don't want to tell your family, I don't want to go see the doctor, just tell your family, hey, I'm going to the new Demoses, I'll see you later on, and head over to this thing tomorrow and get your heart checked or whatever you think's bothering you. It's free. And just so you get an idea where it is, just in case you just tuned in late, this is a map of lovely Lowell, Massachusetts. Here's Lowell General Hospital, way up here. I'm going to drag down the screen so you can see. Here's Lowell General, way over here. This is the Merrimack River. This is the Rourke Bridge. And you go over the Rourke Bridge or go down 113 to Lowell Lawrence Boulevard. That's the bowling alley. There's the new Demoulas's or the new Market Basket. And here is the where LASA is. The LASA Foundation is having this free clinic tomorrow for health. A very good thing you don't have to live in Lowell. You can live in Alaska. You just got to get here tomorrow, 8:30 to 1:30. You can just walk in. No appointment, no nothing. Just walk in. No ID, no nothing. And they will help you out.
So, you said blood test. Do you do can you process the blood samples there?
Yeah, we're only doing the blood tests that we can do on the spot because it's just too complicated to,
Yeah.
Take it off-site and then follow up the results with people. So everything happens right there. So we have some basic glucose testing, triglycerides, for those who need it. We also have hemoglobin A1C testing. So yeah, I think we do a pretty good job, getting some basic information.
We got
But,
45 seconds, Doctor. Anything we didn't talk about you wanted to make sure we talked about? And the same thing, Motari?
I mean,
30 seconds.
if you haven't, if you're scared to go to a doctor, if you've never been to a doctor yesterday or the other day you were mentioning about, like I'm 75 years old and I've never been to a doctor, because it's sometimes hard. Just, you want to go and ask some questions. We don't keep the records, right, after that. So
Yeah.
it's not like someone's going to find out that you came and, you want to get your questions answered. Your health is a priority. Come to this clinic and, you will definitely, and as it is, it's love all, serve all. You will be treated with love and we are here to serve you.
And you got a good weather day as well. So
Yeah,
keep-
we're lucky.
Yep.
So thank you both very much for coming in. Thank you for hosting the clinic, and thank you for coming in and telling us about it. And I guess you'll do it again in 6 months?
Yes.
So
April.
we'll see you guys again in 6 months.
Yeah.
Yep.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
And I think we're off the air.